Hey guys! So for this video I wanted to color this goofy little illustration that I did and I wanted to try out a new type of watercolor that I hadn't used before. Anyone who's been following me on my social media, like mostly Instagram, knows that I've been really into watercoloring lately. So I wanted to try out one of the many new watercolors that I got. It was a long time ago, back when I did my art supply haul. It was like last year. But I wanted to try out one of the watercolors that I purchased, and the watercolor that I'm using for this video is the Dr.ph Martin's Radiant Concentrated Watercolors, and I'm only using one color, and that is Antelope Brown. And I know that a lot of people wanted me to do like first impressions / demos of those old watercolor sets that I bought from my art supply haul. I'll link the art supply haul down below if you want to go check that out. And if you want to see me still do like demo videos using those like cheaper art supply or watercolor palettes, you can let me know in the comments down below, because I still would really like to do that. I just haven't really had time to do it lately. So, but if you want to see that, you can let me know down below. But yeah, for this video, I'm just working on a piece of, I think it's just Canson watercolor paper. It's cold pressed, and I'm only using the one color. So I guess this could technically be considered a like single color challenge video. I didn't really know if I should call it a challenge video because it wasn't intended to be a challenge video, but I guess you could say that it is. But I'm just working on the Canson watercolor paper, and I cut it down to size. It's pretty small. I didn't want to make this like super huge. And then if you noticed when I was transferring the sketch onto the watercolor paper, I had punched the edges so that the paper had rounded edges because I really like the way that looks. The liquid watercolors are something I have not tried before. I've heard of liquid watercolors before, but I usually like to stick to my pan watercolors. I don't usually work with watercolor tubes. I like to use watercolors that are in pans. I have a lot of watercolor tubes that I've taken and put into pans to make my own watercolor palette. If you want to see a video about my watercolor palette, let me know below and I will make a video about that, because I've actually already had a lot of people asking me on Instagram what kind of watercolor palette I use, because I made my own. But the liquid watercolors were very interesting to work with. They're not that like dissimilar to a pan watercolor or a tube watercolor. They're just watercolors that are already mixed with water, so they're a lot quicker, I guess. They're not portable at all, which is something I don't like about them, because I like to be able to take my watercolors like out and about with me and go painting outside. But for like in studio use, they're actually really, really nice. I wish that I had more than the one color. I only bought one color. I think I bought this particular color when I was in Nebraska visiting my sister, because there was a Blick there, and there is not a Blick near me. The closest Blick to my house is like a 45-minute drive, because it's in downtown Portland, and that's far. So I only had the one color to work with for this particular illustration, but I really like this color. As I said, it's Antelope Brown, so it's like a really yellow toned brown. And it ended up at the end, when I finished the illustration, it kind of looked like one of those illustrations that's done with coffee, like when you have your coffee and you paint with the coffee. I thought that it ended up looking a lot like a coffee illustration, so that was kind of cool. The brown color has a lot of yellow tone in it, and you can definitely see the yellow coming out on the paper. It definitely stains the paper a lot with a yellow tone, but I thought that ended up kind of cool. Probably the only thing that I found challenging about using this type of watercolor, and it may just be this particular color since, as I said, I haven't used any other liquid watercolors, but I would definitely like to. The only thing that I found a little challenging with this color was building up a bit of contrast. The color blends together with itself really well, so it was harder to get those darker areas. It just took a little bit more layering than I'm used to, since I'm normally using pan watercolors, and I use artist grade watercolors, which I'm not sure if these are or not, but I found that building up contrast took a little bit more effort, and it just was adding a couple more layers on top of dried layers to make it a bit darker. But that was really the only thing that I had an issue with this particular type of watercolor. Otherwise, they're really great. Like, this watercolor is so vibrant and nice, and I really like having it in liquid form, so I don't have to like mix it with water. Like, I still do mix it with water to make like lighter tones and stuff. But other than that, I really like this brand, and I suggest testing them out if you're looking for some type of watercolor to try out. So yeah, that's my like first impressions of the Dr.ph Martin's Radiant Concentrated Watercolors. Normally at the end of these videos I would have a scan of this illustration so you can see what it looked like at the end. I've actually been moving around my art room a lot, so I don't know where I put this illustration, so it's somewhere. But I'll slow it down at the end so you guys can see the finished piece. But that's all I really have time for. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to see more watercolor videos or more videos in general, you can let me know in the comments down below. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!